My boys, welcome to episode 12 of Farms Out. It is in fact the Lord's Day, and I'm going to church, and I realized 20 minutes out from going to church that I did not record my daily content. So here we are going through the farms. Gonna try and go through them a little speedily, and I'm gonna try and answer the questions a little more briefly, obviously, so I can make it to church. You know, obviously I have to. My parents are trying to get me to go to church every week after dodging the brain tumor. Personally, not super duper religious, but you know, whatever. All right, first farm, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And with the first farm done, let's go through the first question. First question comes from Ide, or actually it's a comment. He says, CM can chain a little bit with a relic, so he can be used the same as Richard, plus you can use him in KVK3 with LC if you're low on GH. The thing I will say, CM really cannot chain that well with Relic. If you have really good gear, really good armaments, and good tech, I've seen some people with the medicinal supplies section of the tree be able to make chaining CM work. I can barely make chaining CM work. Okay? Just be very cognizant that it is not a, it's like, okay, but it's not great. But yeah, again, like, look, chaining with Martel, like, I've tried it. Obviously, I do it. If you watch any of my streams, it just doesn't really work. Like, nowhere near compared to Richard. And I get it, you know, if your tech's not good enough, then Richard will die too. But I mean, like, Richard will die slowly at the very least, and that's kind of all we're looking for when it comes to chaining. Do they have to last forever? No. I mean, the only commanders that really last forever is Richard once you get, like, decent tech on him, and if you have him decently skilled, and QQ. You know, QB just lasts a absolutely unbelievable amount of time. Next question comes from user LY5. Hey 12, I have a question. I always get told that Alex should be made as a secondary to LC. You even said so in the video. What I want to know is why. They have the same talent trees and Alex has a damage taken debuff on his active skill, which will make LC's active stronger. Is the only difference that Alex gets targeted more? This is how it was explained to me. Alex primary in a vacuum, in like a 5v5 marches, you'd probably want Alex primary because you want that debuff going on before all of your other commanders secondaries. When it comes to the open field, it is very often that you're switching targets and very often that targets are dying. So you're getting much less value out of Alex. And as it was described to me, the faster you can get your ability off, like your 5-man LC ability, the better it'll be for you. Between the slow and just the fact that it's very strong, if you don't see that ability, it's a huge detriment. And you know, having Alex's ability go first is like an extra 2 seconds you didn't have to spend. In a vacuum, I personally enjoy Alex LC a lot more. I think it's a lot stronger, but we don't play in a vacuum. You know, we obviously play in the real game. So I swapped it. Overall, I did not notice a huge change in reports, but I mean, it was described to me that it does well like that. And, you know, I gained from my own experience, but I also listen to, you know, good players when I can. All right, next question from Piggy. Richard gets ground down over time. It's way too passive and trades negative almost all the time. I would agree past KVK1, Richard definitely does trade negative. In KVK1, he's really not bad. I mean, like, you can ask the other people that have run Richard in KVK1. Again, if you don't have like a great account and you don't have like great gear or tech or really a lot of troops or you're like sub-level 60s, then yes, for 100% sure, Richard is going to trade negatively. But again, like your Richard is not only for chaining. I'd be really hesitant because I see you guys talking a lot about just investing into Martel. It's just not that good of a deal. And if you're at the position where your account's not even developed enough to where your Richard can trade well, you're really not in a position to where you want to spend a bunch of gold heads on Martel. Even your Richard's dying. And like Richard at 5.511 should frankly not really have any problem with marches on the field in KVK1. Just shouldn't be there. And then afterwards, you can have him as a really good PvE piece. Next question is from Zol Nico. Hi there, fellow YouTuber. Let's say you have infinite gold heads. Who would you rather take to expertise? Pyrrhus or CM? Gotta be CM. I think Pyrrhus Eulogy or Pyrrhus CM or like Pyrrhus Richard is probably like technically a stronger march for KVK1. And Pyrrhus transitions well. I like CM. I like CM's auxiliary skill for one. 20% movement speed, health, and defense is absolutely bonkers. I'm just a huge fan of Martel in general, like once you get him. The fact that Martel is free makes him awesome. Pyrrhus isn't bad. I just think he's a lot less flexible, and for that reason, I wouldn't really want him. Final question coming out of Igor Net. Igor Net says, I'm in a KD that's around 45 days old, but I have a feeling I'm a little behind the other players. What's a good way to catch up to them? Well, Igor, sadly, if you're F2P and your kingdom is not letting you in the top alliance because you're behind in power and you don't really have speed, you're probably cooked. Unironically, you probably can't get ahead. As an F2P or low spender at that point, like it's very, very difficult in order to catch up again. You can, but the time investment would probably be better spent restarting. If you feel like you're really behind everybody, chances are you might just want to restart the game, pay close attention to the beginner guide, and jump with a jumper group and be better next time. Salvaging the account is definitely possible, but there are a lot of people that should restart, and in your case, it sounds like you probably should. If you're like 2 or 3 mil power and it's day 45 and you're in like the 3rd string alliance, like, you know, you're kind of cooked. And that's okay. That is what it is. But, you know, there's always a way to restart and be better. Better to restart now 45 days in than having to restart like 7-10 months in because you have a greater scope of how behind you are. Anyway guys, that's gonna be it for Farms Out today. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful day. If you guys enjoy the content, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Always hit that notification bell if you want to see more content like this. If you guys want coaching, remember on-stream coaching is $35 a session, off-stream coaching is $75 a session. If you spend $200 or more on this game every single month, getting a session to at least clean up your spending is probably not a bad idea. Other than that guys, if you want to help support the channel, please donate to the Streamlabs link in the description below. And that'll be all for today. I'll see y'all in the next episode of Farms Out. Deuces.